So I got to talk in front of the Federal Probation Office with the director by my side, representing basically a different type of mindset. And when I sat on the table and I gave them my speech, not selling the program that I'm associated with, but knowing that the lives that you're saving and what to incorporate when being that PO talking to a real convict, right? Now, because I've changed, it didn't matter that I still didn't have those feelings, but I also had to change my mindset. Now, you got to understand the the importance of this. The importance was is I was the person, they have the receipts and they all agreed, the probation department, even in Reno on Zoom, that I did have the receipts because they do the background check on me, right? Because who's just coming into our building? So after I gave my speech, I seen my OPO to be able to do that. My life came in full circle, where the choices that I made, the revisions that I made, the mindset and the certain beliefs I've changed, got me to held my ground to represent this side, but knowing that there's another side of it. And that was a very proud moment for me, Doc. And I want to share that with this because that was huge.
I think it's important, Gordon, for people to like truly understand the gravity of that situation, and especially as we're talking today, because you're looking at someone who came from a broken background, came from broken parents, was into drugs, into, prostitution, into all types of stuff, right? Telling people in clubs, like all these things like this. And if you were to look at Gordon back then, you would never say, oh, yeah, he's going to be informing, federal law enforcement officers on how to better support the community. That doesn't even make sense. But he did work. He had to look at himself and take an honest assessment of himself in the mirror and say, you know what? I can't keep doing this, right? I can't keep living this way. I can't keep making these same decisions, these same choices. I can't keep doing that. I got to do something different. That's who I used to be. That's not who I plan on being anymore. So he had to have that dividing line, kind of draw that line in the sand where he says, my life is not going to be different. My life is going to change. I'm not going to be that same man anymore. I'm going to bury that man. I'm going to become something new, something better. When you look at him, you're looking at a father, right? Someone who loves kids. He's there. He's present. You're looking at a husband, someone who loves his wife, someone who's treating her with respect, right?
It doesn't matter because I told him the hardest work it had to take was for me to take accountability and to change.
Ooh.
So if you don't take accountability for yourself and you don't put in the action towards what you need to do, you're always going to go back full circle where you started.
Yep.
Right? Now, if you start and you have an end goal of starting something like that, that will change the trajectory, the purpose, the accountability, and I'm not saying it's for everybody, but you could do this in business.
Because here's the thing. I forgot who said this quote, but whether you believe you can or you can't, I think it was Henry Ford. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So if you believe you can't, what you're going to do is you're create a system where you can. You wonder why you keep getting into bad relationships? Because you believe you're not good enough. So even when you get into a good one and they check all the boxes, you will literally find a way to sabotage yourself out of that situation. Same thing with the job, same thing with any other opportunity, because you can't go beyond what we believe. So you have to recognize that this belief I have about myself, about my situation, about my life, you have to make a stance and say, listen, that's not correct. That's not what I want to believe. I want to believe something different. I want to believe I can be a better father. I want to believe I can be a better husband. I want to believe I can have my own business. The goal at the end is not to make more money. The goal at the end isn't to have a better relationship. The goal at the end isn't to be better with your kids. The goal at the end is not to start a business. That's not the goal. What I'm talking about is the goal should be I'm a different man at that point. And the different man at that point, he will be the great husband. He will be the great father. He will be the great businessman. He will be great in whatever it is. So the progress and the journey, it's about becoming man. It's not about achieving the goal. Because if it was about achieving the goal, then when you got there, everything will be great. But how many millionaires are depressed and suicidal? How many people, they have the best looking wife, the best this, the best that, and they're still miserable? Any man that believes I'm not good enough, that's not a true story. That's a lie. I'm letting you know that right now. That is a bold-faced lie. What do you mean you're not good enough? For one, your self-worth, you're already worthy of love and respect and honor. Like, you're already worthy of that already, right?
Mhm.
When you were born, you were already worthy of that. Then two, y'all got skills, gifts, talents, and abilities that will blow people out the water. Blow them out the water. For whatever reason, you think it's not good enough. Some of y'all can draw, y'all can code, y'all can make businesses, y'all can buy and sell and flip things. You can do all these things. You have a massive amount of knowledge in your stuff because there's this belief, there's this story that someone created that you adopted that I'm not good enough. Get rid of that story and start walking in your purpose, start walking in your calling. So it comes down to you making a decision to saying, hey, what do I want my story to be? And maybe it started off bad. I was a drug dealer. I was a deadbeat dad. I was a horrible husband. I was a cheater. I was a liar. I was a thief. But now I get to say, but then
But exactly.
my
Beautiful.
life changed. But
Beautiful.
then I had an experience with God. But then I listened to Keith and Gordon and I started thinking different. But then I came across this video. But then I saw this car. You can change, and your story can be something phenomenal and wonderful and beautiful and powerful and transformational for all those who might be experiencing something similar to what you've been through. I think that's critical. Everybody has a story. I can't reach everybody. Gordon can't reach everybody, but you might be able to reach people who we can't reach.